Alright guys, Revolver Ocelot here, and this is going to be Video Game versus Episode 2. This is, let's start off by saying something. So, if you haven't seen my previous Video Game versus, I'd go check it out, Witcher 3 versus Fallout 4. It was really fun for me to do, I enjoyed it. If you don't know what Video Game versus is, it's a new series that I've created, which I will be doing as regularly as I possibly can, which will be essentially me comparing 2 video games on 5 categories. The categories will be story, gameplay, presentation, value, and then I will pick one specific thing from each game that stood out to me specifically. So that part is incredibly subjective, as I think these whole episodes are. So please, if you have different opinions, share, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think to what I've said. If you have a quarrel with something I said, tell me. I don't particularly mind, I just wouldn't like to be maliciously attacked. So if you've seen my previous Video Game versus, I did Witcher 3 versus Fallout 4. I compared 2 RPGs from the 8th generation. Today, if you've seen my previous videos, you will know what I'm doing, but today is essentially, what is the best video game sequel? As I compare 2 of the best video game sequels of the 7th generation of gaming, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, and Mass Effect 2. I will not be using the DLC because that's unfair to Uncharted 2. So, without further ado, let's begin. We will start with the story. Now, we'll start with the story of Uncharted 2. Now, the story of Uncharted 2's main, I think, positive is Nathan Drake as a character. Drake is so witty, and I feel like that's so much of what Nolan North brings to the role. The dialogue from Nathan Drake is so funny. Even in situations where he really shouldn't be funny, he's funny, and Nathan Drake will have you laughing for so long. As a guy who's such a diverse voice actor, Nolan North can pull it off incredibly well. When you compare the fact that he voice acted in the other Naughty Dog game, the Naughty Dog wrote this, Naughty Dog developed this and then developed The Last of Us. It was a different writer, but still, it was developed. Nolan North appeared in this as Nathan Drake, but he then appeared in The Last of Us as an incredible villain that seriously doesn't get enough credit when people talk about The Last of Us, but that's a conversation for another day. So Nathan Drake, Nolan North in this game is fantastic as Drake. The banter between him and any character, whether it's Sully, Chloe, Flynn, Lazarevich, Elena, it's always funny. Nate is so smart with his dialogue. For such a smart character with Nate, he's also quite clumsy and quite weird in his dialogue, and he thinks things through, like, not as much as you probably should. The dialogue, I can't gush enough about the dialogue from Nathan Drake specifically. But the other characters are also very interesting. You've got Sully, who isn't in the game long enough, admittedly, but he's still in it for some good time. Chloe Fraser, who is basically Nate's love interest at the beginning of the game, and there's complications there. There's Elena Fisher, who is his past love interest. Lazarevich, who's the villain. There's Harry Flynn. All these characters create an immersive experience in a story that is told so well, and the writing from Naughty Dog should be given a lot of praise, because it is some of the best writing in the industry, and now with Neil Druckmann working on the new Uncharted, I'm sure the writing will be even better, but the writing for Uncharted 2 is fantastic. Moving on to the story of Mass Effect 2, this story takes more of a go-at-your-own-pace sort of story. So Uncharted is very just guns blazing, get in there and get it done, and I don't think either method is particularly bad, it's just what you prefer. Uncharted's Mass Effect's go-at-your-own-pace is much more suited to me, I think. But let's just look at the story as a whole first. I liked specifically in Mass Effect the characters. I love the universe in Mass Effect. BioWare created such a incredible galaxy of characters and systems and races, and it just seems like they did it like that. And you grow to love everyone, from Garrus to Tali to Thane Krios, who can be seen there, who has an awesome story arc about his son, to Miranda Lawson, who has an awesome story arc about her father and her sister. There's so many great characters in the Mass Effect universe. I'm going to go on. Legion, Mordin, Joker, Samara, Grunt. I always forget Grunt. Grunt, Jack is such a cool character, and they all create this such a real experience, and you feel like these guys are your friends. You feel like you get to know them, you come to care about them, and the romance system's there to help that. You can romance 7 different characters out of the, 11 companions, which is really, 9 companions, which is really damn cool. You can just walk about your ship and just go about it at your own pace, and I feel like that's the best part of the story. It's all what you do. You write your own story in Mass Effect. Apart from the main story, which is there, you do it as you choose. However, the biggest issue with Mass Effect story, and the real immediate one, is that it's the second game in the series, and to play Mass Effect to its fullest, you have to complete Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 3 in order and really carry over Shepard. The biggest thing, and I feel like this is why I'm going to give the point for story to Uncharted 2, is because Uncharted 2 is its own self-contained story. You don't need to play Uncharted 1 to get it. You don't need to play Uncharted 2, 3 to get it. You just need to play Uncharted 2 to get one of the best well-written stories of the generation. From just a great standpoint, I love Uncharted 2 and Mass Effect, but in the end, the story goes to Uncharted 2. So, 1-0 to Uncharted 2. Moving on, we have the gameplay round. Now, gameplay in these games is good because it's actually quite similar. Both take third-person shooter perspectives, but there's actually more to one of them than meets the eye, so that's the one I'm going to get to first. Now, Uncharted 2's gameplay, I'll start with Uncharted again, is a great TPS. It's a great third-person shooter. It's very tight, very good shooting mechanics, good platforming mechanics. I still don't think there's enough platforming mechanics in Uncharted. There is a fantastic chapter where you break up. There's basically no shooting, and it's just a fantastic platforming chapter that I really liked. Naughty Dog put their platforming experience with Jack and Daxter and oh my god, Crash Bandicoot to good use. I can't believe I forgot that. In a great way, and that's one of the good things about Uncharted, is how the past games from Naughty Dog really helped them. As I said, the shooting is fantastic, but that's it. The shooting's good and entertaining, but it's not incredible. It does sort of just rip off Gears of War system, which isn't a criticism, I'm just saying it's not exactly innovative, which, to its criticism, Mass Effect did copy Gears of War's third-person shooter system as well, but in all honesty, every third-person shooter today copies Gears of War's shooter system, so that shouldn't be that much of a criticism. There aren't many third-person shooters that really don't do it. There's Dead Space that hasn't really, there's the Resident Evil games that haven't really, and that's kind of it. But overall, the gameplay in Uncharted is very, very good. It's very enjoyable, and it's great for what it is. But, and this is where I think I'm going to give the gameplay points to Mass Effect 2. Now, you're probably thinking, whoa, wait a second, wait a minute. Uncharted 2 has way better gunplay than Mass Effect. I agree. It does have better gunplay. It's a lot tighter, the guns feel a lot more powerful, and basically a lot of the enemies aren't just bullet sponges. But what Mass Effect 2 has is a very open-ended gameplay system. The biotics add so much little dexterity to combat. They have a little dynamic where you can use charges, different styles of ammo, like disruptor ammo or cryo ammo. You can use biotic powers like warps, where you can throw discs at them. You can do charges, biotic blasts, telekinetic stuff. And that's fantastic in terms of the combat. So that's why I think the combat in this game is slightly better than Uncharted's. Uncharted does have the platforming, of course, over Mass Effect. Mass Effect isn't a platformer. But I'd say what Mass Effect had is the open-ended side of it that I already have talked about with the story. The open-ended aspect where you can just go around your ship. You can just go shopping. Just do anything within the galaxy that seems awesome. You can just scan planets for a while and earn resources, which admittedly is quite slow, the scanning, but it's still fun, rewarding, and thematic. So I think I'm going to give the gameplay point to Mass Effect 2. It does seem weird considering the gunplay in Uncharted is better, but I would say overall Mass Effect 2 does have better gameplay. Let's just set the time. Thanks. Moving on to presentation, and unfortunately, I would say in this one, it is a slight mismatch. Uncharted 2 came out a year before Mass Effect 2, so in theory, if games get better over time, Mass Effect 2 should have better graphics. Mass Effect 2's graphics are very good. I don't think they're bad, I think they're very good for the time. Not as good as, say, Red Dead Redemption, a game that came out that year, but I think they do the job very well. Uncharted 2 came out a year before and has better graphics. In terms of graphics, so this is one part of presentation. If you don't know, I look at presentation in terms of graphics and sound design. So the graphics in Uncharted 2 are fantastic. They are so good. They are a big improvement from the first one, as are Mass Effect 2's. But I would say there's a bigger jump here, and I just think they look better. They are smoother. Water looks great, as it does in Mass Effect 2. But Mass Effect 2's character models don't look as good as Uncharted's. Uncharted's weather effects look so good. The environments are beautiful. So are Mass Effect's in a different way. But Uncharted's have this pure sense of realism, and they're so incredible. The graphics are fantastic for a 2009 game, and that is why, for that part of presentation, I would say Uncharted takes it. Now looking at sound design, I would say both games have very solid sound design. And when I think of sound design for these games, mostly, I think about the voice acting. Mass Effect has solid voice acting. Some great pieces. Martin Sheen's good, Jennifer Hale, Mark Mayer's decent as Male Shepherd. I don't think he's bad. I think he's decent. Jennifer Hale's far better though. I would say that some other good performances are Yvonne Strahovski as Miranda Lawson, which was the first one that came to mind for some reason. I liked Liara's voice actress, very good. I liked Tally's voice actress, Garrus's voice actress, who is in a few games that I can think of actually. So there's great voice acting in Mass Effect 2. But in terms of voice acting, I think Nathan Drake and Nolan North is one of the best pieces of voice acting I've seen in a game. It is so good. He brings so much emotion to the character. He brings wit, determination, whenever he needs it. And a lot of it, I assume, is probably just Nolan North's work. And there is so much credit that Nolan North should be given for that. Other good voice acting performances are like, pardon me, Elena Fisher, Chloe, just fantastic voice acting performances overall. And that is why I would say presentation goes to Uncharted 2, which means it's 2-1 to Uncharted 2. Okay, so moving on, we go to value. This might seem like a mismatch, and it probably is, but this is just the category I added when I started the series, and I'm going to keep it, and it might seem like a mismatch, but I'm going to keep it. I like it. I feel like if a game is good enough, it should be replayed. We'll start with Mass Effect 2. As an RPG, it's pretty long. You can get about 40 hours out of one playthrough of Mass Effect if you do everything. Not just on the ship, if you do stuff outside, on the Citadel, in Ilium, Omega. There's so much to do in the world of Mass Effect. And that's one of the things. In terms of replaying it as well, there's tons of replayability. The choices, not specifically the Paragon Renegade choices, because I think they are rather restrictive, but I think the overall choices in terms of saving a character, romancing a character, because the romance options are so smart and it's something that Mass Effect has done so well, and it has given it quite maturity. I think, personally, they are quite mature. Not from a the sexual scene standpoint, but from the actual character romance standpoint. I think Witcher 3's romances are great overall. I would say Mass Effect's actual relationships are so well done in terms of replaying them, because you get so different perspectives and stuff like that. So in replayability, Mass Effect soars fantastically. There's a good amount of difficulty to replay it as well, and the story should be replayed anyway. In terms of replaying Uncharted 2, I would say you replay it for the story and for the fun gameplay. But that's it. I would say that in terms of collectibles, some of them are very, very cool and interesting, but there's not much context to a lot of them, so that doesn't make them too interesting, like Darkness 2's collectibles, for example, which are fantastic to collect. So I would say that for replayability and value, the point goes to Mass Effect 2, which means we are tied at 2 apiece, which I will normally do. I will normally have it so we're tied at 2 apiece for the last round. Now, last round. My last one was Gwent versus Fallout. Gwent versus the customization system, and maybe that was a bit unbalanced in terms of one's bigger than the other. Now, I went with the smaller one anyway, so I didn't think, well, it'd matter. It's just which one I preferred. So in this, I tried to make it more similar. So I went with the suicide mission from Mass Effect 2 against the train segment from Uncharted 2. Now you know why for gameplay I didn't bring it up. The train segment in Uncharted 2, one of the very best set pieces you will play in a game. It is excellently well done. There's a helicopter, there's explosions. Uncharted, that's Uncharted. That train segment, when I think Uncharted, that train segment comes up. And it, honestly, there's no Uncharted segment better than it. There's no action game segment, probably for the 7th gen, better than it. It is an amazing segment in terms of style, in terms of gameplay. There's so much story to it. It's not explosions for the fun of it. Screw you, Michael Bay. It's a fantastic segment to replay on its own. It's damn fun, damn enjoyable, and I always enjoy and laugh. And just, it's so fun to play. Mass Effect Suicide Mission has the same sort of feeling, I think. I don't think it's as fun to play, but I'd say it's as tense. You want to make sure all of your characters survive. You have to make sure you've prepared for it. Get the upgrades, make sure your men are loyal. When you do the strategies for who's going to do what, you have to make sure that certain characters are the leaders, certain characters are the technicians, certain characters are the biotic, not you, Miranda. And that's so smart. And that's so creative, and when I came up to that, I was like, wow, that really surprised me. Because first time I played it, I had a lot of people die. I think 2 survived, because I was dumb in planning. But now when I plan strategically by getting the resources, by scanning planets to get the resources, by preparing my men, by getting more loyal, by making sure that there's nothing in the way of them when I make them loyal. By ensuring that I pick the right members to do the right activities, so Garrus can be the team leader, or Miranda can be the team leader, and the biotic can be Jack or Samara. The technician should not be Morden, which I randomly picked for some reason. The technician should be Tali or Legion, or I think there's one more. It might be Jacob. No, it's not Jacob, actually. I just remember Jacob sucks at everything, by the way, not just at being a technician. And I think that preparation standpoint and that shocking standpoint, while the train segment was amazingly fun, I am going to give the final round to Mass Effect 2 because of the preparation side of it. The work you put in to get to that segment, the tension on the mission, and the fact that before you get off your ship, people can die. You can be men down by the time your ship has been even disembarked. So, that is it. Mass Effect 3 takes it over Uncharted 2, 3-2. It was one hell of a battle, but congratulations to Mass Effect 2, a game that I will love forever, and it's my favourite game of all time, by the way. So, you know, remember I'm doing this on subjective opinions, So guys, thanks for watching. This has been Video Game Versus 2. I want you to tell me what you thought to the episode. Do you think I was too harsh? Do you think I was too unbiased? I will be fine if you say I was too unbiased, in all honesty. I think I was actually kind of fine with it, because I didn't go too crazy. But I want you to tell me what you think. Do you think it was a good episode? Did you enjoy this? What episodes would you like to see? In terms of episodes I have planned, I have a few episodes planned. I have Jack and Dexter versus Ratchet and Clank, the original ones, planned, which will be an interesting one for me to do. I'm a fan of both. I have Metro Last Light versus Bioshock Infinite planned, which is another really, really good one I'm interested in. And finally, my third one was, I believe, what was it? I can't remember. Sorry, guys, I can't remember what it was. I think it was something really, really cool. It might be that one now, because it seems interesting. Oh, it was Shadow of the Colossus versus Resident Evil 4, that was it. So, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. I hope you enjoyed this episode. This has been Revolver Ocelot, Video Game Versus Episode 2.